Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 35th episode of The Knowledge Nest. This week is the last week of September, and accordingly, this week on Thursday at noon, we have our book club, which we're going to be reading Hidden Pictures by Jason Rakudak, which is a very interesting book. It's kind of has a different ending than you would expect. You think it's one genre, and then it's another, or maybe it's the same. I haven't really read my thriller or horror novels, but it's a pretty interesting and intriguing book. It certainly had me on the edge of my seat, and I can tell that it was very interesting for the other people in the library who read it as well. So please come and join us in the book club. Again, that is Thursday at noon. And we have other activities that are coming up. We have some murder mysteries. We have, of course, more mini golf. We have the trivia things, the questions of the week. I'm very excited for what's going to be happening with that. We love our trivia, and we love having you here. So please come, even if there isn't an activity, please come to the library and enjoy our assistance. We have a brand new printer. We replaced our printers up front and the back with a new printer, and it's really effective. It's really nice. It hopefully should be even less problematic than the other ones were. They were very good printers, but they did break down or have issues, rather, not break down, but they did have issues. And so this one should be wonderful. So we're really excited to give that a try and see how that works for you. So our scanners are also running, and our copiers are working as well. So we always have new changes and new improvements and advancements in how we're serving you and the services that we offer you. So please come to the library physically, and don't just take advantage of the wonderful digital things that we have created. And by we, I mean the podcast, which I think is pretty good, and also the resource directory, guide to research, all sorts of things that everyone has pitched in to help you have, and I hope you have access to. We are currently in talks to be updating our front page of the library, so please be on the lookout for that. We're going to be using our current webpage for a long time still, but we're also going to be updating it. So in the future, we'll have a more updated, modern view look to our webpage, our homepage. And so look out for that. It should be exciting. This week, in accordance with what I talked about last week, we're going to be looking at how to save sources to your EBSCO, my EBSCO, and then how you can look at them in your projects, in your searches, in your saved, etc., and even in your viewed as well. We see down here we have a little bit more options, and that's because I've logged into my EBSCO. You can see the RH here. That's my account. And so you need to use, I would advise you to use your CSI account. You can use any account you want. But if you want to have access to all of these things seamlessly, you're going to want to use your CSI account because that's associated with the institution you're a part of. And then you can have access to saved things and projects. So because I'm the copyright librarian, we're going to be searching intellectual property. And before you ask me, yes, I did use AI to help me narrow down this topic, to find something that would be related to my field, but also relevant to all of you and kind of engaging and interesting as college students. Tell me how I did with this in an email or in many other ways. So you see right here, we have our research starter. These are little placards that have information about things. A lot of times they're from Salem Press Encyclopedia, but they can be from other encyclopedias, or they can be also things that we've created ourselves, but we're going to be referencing encyclopedias mostly. And you see right here, we have something in the CSI library. It's a book that we can use. So we're going to save that. You can save it, and you can also add to a project. And you have various access options as well. I would suggest, however, going to the details and reading the metadata. See, we look at landmark Supreme Court cases. So this deals with landmark Supreme Court cases, and it's an ebook, and all these, it's about law and intellectual property and the Supreme Court. Here's a summary. Read these things before you save the projects so you know. And you can click Control F. If you wanted to do, if you wanted to look for law subjects, you could do Control F law and see that it's there. And only then would I recommend you saving it to a specific project. So you can add to a project. I don't have any projects right now. So let's choose a new project. And we have, you would think that as a librarian, I could spell with typing more rapidly. So let's say that our assignment on intellectual property is due on October 9th. We have that, and this is I don't like 5-paragraph essays. It's a table on, yes, this is a project. Okay, so a table on intellectual property. There, I spelled it right that time. Cases in the Supreme Court and how they influence college courses. Or something like that. Create. So now, let's look for other stuff. You don't just want to use one type of thing. So let's go back to our searches. Intellectual property. And we don't want to just use books, so let's go to filters. And let's look at peer-reviewed articles. So we have publication, publisher, source types. Here we go. You don't want news. We don't want magazines. We want academic journals. Here we have it. We have an academic journal entitled Intellectual Property and Technology Law. So let's look at this. This should probably have some Supreme Court decisions. So again, let's view the details. We have a lot of authors. It's published in September. It's published this month. See? This is why you need to be searching things constantly, because this came out in this month. And you read the abstract. Jack Daniels Properties versus VIP Products, LLC. Very nice. And so we add this to a project. Add now. Now, we're looking at, according to this project, we're looking at intellectual property and how it affects college courses. So let's do intellectual property and college. And I wouldn't do this, but let's see if this works. Supreme Court. And this means that we want Supreme and Court to be a phrase that's searched for specifically, if you remember the Boolean keywords and database things that I was talking about. And we still have 29,064 results. We got our filters. We got peer-reviewed, source types. Let's do some academic journals. And let's also, since it's Supreme Court stuff, let's see if we can do some reviews and look at some law reviews potentially, because those will be more brief overviews of things. And so you see NCAA versus Austin, Title IX. Let's say we want to make sure that we have accurate and recent articles. So we only want ones that have been published in the past 5 years, because the courts can take a little bit of a long time. So we still have this spring 2022, because that's obviously just a year ago, or really, year and a half ago. We have a lot of things on college sports. And here we have something from June, Rethinking Education Theft Through the Lens of Intellectual Property and Human Rights. In the Columbia Law Review, this is kind of what we've been looking for. It's copyright of Columbia Law Review. This is an excellent thing. I would not necessarily put this in the abstract, but it is here. I would put that somewhere else, but that's just me. And it's added to the project. Now let's say we have multiple people working with this on. And we have rethinking education theft. We have the material. We want to share it. We can have people who have Google Drive, Google Classroom, OneDrive, or we can simply create a permanent link. So we have that. Or we can just share it in an email, a PDF text. And let's say that I want to send this to my good friend, Ross. And I would just click, obviously, send. So we have a few things in our projects. We have some things that are saved. One of them it was saved because we thought it was important, but it would be more effective to put it in projects. Look at our projects. So we have one project. It's due on October 9th. Click here. We have the title, the thing right here, the summary of the project, and then we have the different articles. And so we can look at this, and we can download all three of them. We can export them. Now you can't share projects, but that would be kind of nice. That might be a future thing that they do, but as of right now, you can only share individual articles. And so you might want to, if you're working with multiple people, share it to a Google Drive folder. And that would be a way you can share it with other people, or just share it through email. And again, we have the searches. We have the different searches that we performed. And then the articles that we viewed recently. And then, of course, we can search things in the concept map. See, that's the last thing I searched. So here we have intellectual property. And then we add to a search. And then we want to do, let's see, author's rights, related rights, trademark, public property, ownership, estate, property law, many different things. If you want to see what other types of things, so you could search author's rights and academic courses, or college, or Supreme Court, or copyright, or public property, or these different people. These different aspects. You could look at these types of things. This might be more related than this one, and this one, McGraw-Hill, has a lot of stuff with copyright. And so then you can add these things to your searches. Let's look at Luther Blissett. What does he do? It looks like he is a fake artist, and so hundreds of artists and activists used him for their own purpose. So you could search him if you wanted to look at music copyright and things like that. And he's actually a face of apparently an ism. So you could go in a rabbit hole here, but the important part is you can look at different aspects and different related concepts and add them to your search. There's many different ways you can save topics and articles for your searches. So I hope that this is kind of interesting to see searching and saving and projects in action, and how you can expand your initial search with various tools. And you can look at the subjects of articles and the metadata to refine what you want to use and what you want to do. So thank you, and have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time here on the Knowledge Nest.